I made a video calling out these guys on a scam in Parkour and they responded. So if you haven't seen the original video, please go watch that first. And in this video, I'm gonna play the full call with them where I let them tell their side of the story. Their response came down to three main criticisms. Number one was the details on the prize money for the competition. Number two were the contracts with the athletes who did or didn't get paid. And number three was whether or not they delivered on the promise set out in the Kickstarter for their online platform. Firstly, after the video dropped, Krystian, who won the 10K competition, wanted to jump on a call with me to shed light on some of the details around the whole prize money fiasco and to confirm how much prize money he actually received. So what they've told me here is that they paid you 7,000 US dollars.
Yeah,
So that's what
that's
happened.
correct.
Okay, yeah. So they claimed it was 10,000 after tax. Like, I don't know how that works, but
But there is a small twist to it as well, because in the
okay.
contract, it says all tax obligation are on me in my country, so I should be the one paying the taxes in Poland, not in US. So I was talking with
Okay.
like a guy that knows about it, like how do you call it? Not a lawyer, but you know the thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was talking with the guy, and he basically said because Poland has agreement with US about non-double taxing, it worked as a tax, but I would pay much less in Poland if I would just pay it myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense because that's how YouTube and Vimeo work. Like, I made that film Next Gen, and the US don't tax us on that, but I get taxed on it in the UK. And that, yeah, it's
Yeah,
the same. It's the same with YouTube. So that's interesting.
yeah.
So
So they
they,
took like 3K, and I would be supposed to pay like here. I'm not gonna lie, but let me just calculate the number.
yeah, calculate it. Yeah.
So it was 10K. I think they would. I would pay like around 1,900, maybe 800, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So,
instead of paying 3K, I would pay like less than two.
okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So they weren't quite honest about that. That's still slightly better than I thought, which is
Mhm.
like I thought it could be worse, but that's
Oh, but
interesting.
it was a long way to get to that point, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's hear the story.
It was a while ago, so I won't remember everything like that correctly. But basically,
It's okay.
the whole contest, the whole story, blah blah blah. So at the end of the day, I won, and then they sent me after we talked, they sent me a contract. And it was like a 10-page contract. Maybe I over exaggerated, but it was something like 7 to 10 page contract. And it was like a lot of bullshit that I didn't understand because English is not my first language.
Hmm.
So I was sitting and checking it with Jason because I was at Jason's place when they announced the winners and stuff like that.
Okay.
And we were working through the points in the contract that we didn't like. Uh, and it said basically that I'm supposed to, like, I didn't win a contest. I won a contest for a job basically. So
Yeah.
that's how it went. So I'm getting the 10K, but I have to do the masterclass. And it could be done at their place. So in the US, they would fly me out and it's this kind of stuff, or we would film it in Poland. But I basically said like, yo guys, it wasn't clear at the start. Like, I don't really want to
Yeah.
do it. If you
Yeah.
want me to do the masterclass, I'm 100% down, but I want to be treated as a guy who's doing the masterclass. So I want to get paid for it because it's my job, right?
Yeah.
And
That's a
also,
separate thing. Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, as they were saying about like underpaying parkour athletes and stuff like that, I felt like that's kind of bullshit, isn't it? Like, they were saying in the videos that like, oh,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
sorry that the
Yeah.
athletes are being underpaid and stuff like that. And then they make a big contest for a job. So that was kind of ass. But I was still down to do it as soon as they would pay me for it. So they said like, no, basically it was a contest, you won, but you have to do it. And we are going back and forth. I don't have any messages because we were like doing video calls and stuff like that. But I remember one thing because I was like really just saying like no, straight no, like I want to get paid, stuff like that. And they said at one point, like, okay, if you don't want to do it, then I guess Yasin will win and we will get him the job and the money.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It was just an ass move. I don't remember how they backed off of this idea, but basically we ended up as like they don't want to do it with me. I don't want to do it with them. They're gonna pay me the 7K and we good. That's it.
On the second point of contracts and athletes' payments, they showed me some blank contracts and cut out JPEGs of athletes' signatures as proof of what the athletes had signed up to. I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt on this, but obviously they could have just written these contracts yesterday. Anyway, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. And finally, on their third point, we reached a bit of a disagreement, as they did populate the online platform with a large number of random videos, like basic tutorials, nutrition guides, and follow-along workouts. But I feel like the whole selling point of the platform was learning from the best in the world, which they completely failed to deliver on, especially after dropping a whole series of promotional videos introducing these pros as their masterclass coaches. So in my opinion, the online platform was definitely still a scam. But lastly, before we go to the call, Chad and Holden felt quite personally attacked by my video, which was never my intention. So I just want to sincerely apologize to them both for any hurt my video caused to them individually. This was never about calling out individuals, but rather an organization that I and many of my friends felt had let down the parkour community. So without further ado, here is my call with Kim and Holden from Fight or Flight Academy. Thank you guys for jumping on. Thank you for coming through and responding. That was kind of, a big goal of this project. So I really appreciate it. And so yeah, if you guys can just briefly introduce yourselves and your roles in Fight or Flight Online Academy and the comp, and then we can start with sort of, you have 3 big points you wanna talk across.
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm Kim DeRuyter. I'm one of the owners and the integrator, which can be thought of as like a high-level project manager of things that go on in the business, and primarily we're actually a in-person gym. Fight or Flight Online was made during COVID because we couldn't open because we were all closed down. So, but yeah, it was also same role for FOFA Online as well, and Project Parkour. Like all of that was all under the same structure.
Yeah, and my name is Holden Hagerman. I currently just work with FOFA or Fight or Flight. We call it FOFA. And I mostly am just in the capacity of doing remote marketing work on like a retainer, and I don't work there full time anymore. At the time of the launch of Fight or Flight Online, Project Parkour, all of that, I was kind of functioning as like a forward-facing project manager, and yeah, I was kind of in charge of the launch of both of those projects.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, because it was obviously your face and Chad's face that were really out there. So
Yeah.
like I saw the thing on the Kickstarter with like all you guys there, but because there wasn't like any like sort of connection, I didn't mention you, Kim, or anyone else because I wasn't sure what people did.
I wouldn't have expected you to mention me.
Yeah. Okay, all good.
Invisible in the background.
But you were like the lead on this, let's say.
Yeah. There was another owner that was kind of took the lead on everything, but I'm the one who made it all, make it all happen. He gives us the vision. I figure out how to execute the vision, and then Holden also did a huge part, probably the biggest part of a lot of it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I saw some posts where you had some sleepless nights and shit. All right, cool. So you have 3 main points you want to bring up. I'll sort of give you the floor, and then you can explain that and sort of maybe ask some questions and stuff. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Cool. So on the topic of Kickstarter or athletes not knowing about the Kickstarter, we have an example here of a contract that has a really clear piece of language speaking to both the Kickstarter itself, i.e. the Kickstarter campaign, as well as the 4 promotional videos, as well as this here, engaging in robust self-produced promotion of company on all social media platforms prior to and during company's Kickstarter campaign, using marketing materials provided by the company. At the bottom here, you can see Dom's initials on this. You can also see the agreements surrounding payments regarding the Kickstarter deliverable, how much people will be paid for doing that, as well as the day rate for the filming. And this is once again initialed by Dominic DiTomaso. And then there should be one more here. Yep, also signed by Dom. That is the contract that mentions that specifically. We had the same language included in all of the contracts with all of our athletes, Bob Reese, Dom Hughes, Eric, Katie, Hendo, Kadori. The list continues. So that
okay,
is
so yeah, so you've got those contracts and you've got these JPEGs with a signature. Now, there's no guarantee that those signatures go with those contracts, but I'll take your word for it. Where then did the issue with Dom happen? What was the like? Why did you guys kind of part ways?
because Dom, I think maybe didn't read his contract.
That's possible. That's definitely
yeah,
possible. Like my
he
information's coming through him, so that and
yeah.
he's bringing it up from memory, so it's definitely not all going to be 100%.
Yeah, he hit me up on the day that he was supposed to be making posts and just acted very blindsided by that information when there was realistically no justification to be blindsided by it, given that he signed a contract that stated that he would do explicitly that. And I believe at that point in time, Kim, correct me if I'm wrong, we had already paid him to do so.
Yes, we did.
Oh, so you
so
did pay Dom.
I do
Yes.
have
Oh,
all the
okay.
payments made to
That's
the
news to me.
athletes as well. And
So
you
yeah,
can
this
see
is
here,
6/15/2020.
Whoa,
Paid Dom in 695 AUD.
yep, which is like 504.99 or something like that.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
half of
It
the
was
day
paid
rate.
on June 15th, and the Kickstarter went live July 15th.
So all these payments, obviously Luke actually did his masterclass. Adam's impression of it that was quite good, you know what I mean? But the other ones were just social media payments, and then you kind of parted ways, right?
Kim, do you want to speak to that at all?
Sure. We didn't exactly part ways. What happened was, when we were talking with them, it was made pretty clear that it's going to be really tough to travel with all the COVID restrictions. That was like at the peak of COVID at the time. And we knew that it was going to take a while to get the platform up. So what we did was we launched the Kickstarter, and then we were able to open up our in-person classes again. So we started focusing on that, kept filming all of our videos like locally because travel was restricted. And when we finally got the platform launched, it was doing okay, but it wasn't doing as well as we had hoped, meaning that sort of our return on investment was going to be lower than we had hoped. So we never specifically parted ways, and we still had plans to work with them, and then it's been slowly coming out that they all hate us. So
Right. So getting the pros on the platform fell through because, well, one, maybe personal issues, and two, like you didn't get the return on investment you were hoping for the launch. Because the impression I had was that you were going to launch after you had done that, which is a massive investment. That's why it was kind of so impressive. You know what I mean?
Sure. So just to get through these 3 points, if you want to ask more questions after.
No, go on. Yeah,
you're
you do your
welcome
thing.
to.
You do your thing. Yeah.
So second point being the allegation that Krystian did not receive his prize money and was forced to sign an NDA preventing him from going public about that information. And we have receipts showing the payment to Krystian in 12,490 PLN. That's Polish currency, split into two payments. That's $3,500 USD. And you'll also see in the contract, if you're doing math here, that's $7,000, right? There's a 10 grand cash prize, and the language dictates that the prize winner is responsible for any applicable taxes or other fees associated with receiving it.
Just on that, because I did speak to Krystian, because he spoke to me after the video dropped, and so yeah, like he confirmed that's correct. He got his 7,000 US dollars, but with that language, like he showed his lawyer, and that says that their tax responsibilities are on him. So, which would mean that he gets to 10K, and then he has to pay tax on that in Poland, which he would have saved. He would have saved almost 2,000 US dollars if he paid the taxes on them in Poland.
That's
And then we would have gotten in trouble with the IRS.
yeah,
if
that's
we did
Right.
that's
that.
not true for at least I dispute that claim for two main reasons.
Okay.
The first is I'll just read this whole thing that's highlighted. Contractor agrees to be wholly responsible for all income tax and national insurance and other similar contributions or taxes which may be payable out of or as a result of the receipt of any fees or other monies paid or payable by company under this agreement. So the payable out of is the important part there. And also, if you look at the actual tax code that we're using, a foreign person is subject to U.S. tax on its U.S. source income. Most types of U.S. source income received by a foreign person are subject to U.S. tax of 30%. The tax is generally withheld from the payment made to the foreign person.
Okay, sure. I mean, I'm no lawyer. I'll take your word for it.
We
You know, if
followed
people know law, they
tax
can.
law. We followed tax law literally like to the letter in regards to the payment. The 30% comes out like prior to the reception of it.
Yeah, and that's I don't know if that's normal for Europe, but that's very normal for us.
So sorry, 7K is just a lot better than I thought it was. So I don't really have much of an issue with the prize money. It looks like it did get done. It got paid out. When I spoke to Krystian, his issue actually wasn't really with the final payment. He just said it was quite a tiresome process. There was apparently like a month of back and forths with
I
you
think
guys.
a lot of it was a language barrier because he was mentioning that he was getting the contract like translated, and he's like, this contract is really long. I need a little more time to get it translated. So, and then he had questions about it, and then he didn't seem pleased with the 7K payment. So I think that it was just a language barrier was kind of the impression that I got.
Right. He also said at some point someone claimed that if he wasn't happy with it, that the prize would go to Yassine. Is that true?
I don't have any record of that.
Not that I recall. No.
Okay, cool. Well, I can't.
Fair and square,
I can't
like,
provide
that would
any
be
proof
weird.
of that. Apparently, it happened on a call, but that's just what I heard. Okay. All right.
So,
do you want to move on? Yeah.
yeah, just to get to the third point, and we can circle back on anything else here.
Cool.
Third point being that Fight or Flight did not deliver on its Kickstarter promises. So we've kind of prepared a set of the library that we have. So in the Kickstarter, let's see, I'll let Kim get to it. So we had 60 videos ready to go for launch with brand new videos coming every week thereafter.
That's our claim is what it is. On the Kickstarter, that's what we claim to do.
Yep.
Yep.
And then what I've put together here is some screenshots, and I numbered them. It was a giant pain in the ass because I had to do it one by one in Paint.net. So
wow.
Screenshot here, but scroll to the top here. So this is our level 1 library. This is all the stuff in the like beginner parkour program in FOF Online. So if anyone wants to like look and confirm, they can pause the video or make it slow or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like blurred. Load faster. There we go.
It listened.
We got, I think there's 70 in here total.
Okay.
Yep, so 70 in the level 1 program.
And we launched with that.
Yeah, that was at launch. Then we have, this is our follow along workout. So these are all like 20 to 30 minute videos meant to sort of like a old school aerobics videotape for any of the older people around who remember videotapes.
The abs one is gnarly.
Yeah. And we
Many
got
ab workouts.
41 of those. And then we have beginner mobility. We got 17 of those. And we got another big one.
So what's the total then?
I'll get to that in just a second.
All right.
We're almost done. So we got, this is nutrition stuff. I think there were 50 something of these. Yep, 51. And then we have just a quick like getting started. There's 3 in there. We have Luke's masterclass. We have 9 videos there. And then I have all the math. And I have, let's see, I have it in here a little more concise. What the math is, if I can find it. Here we go. So we have 191 total videos, minus 60 initial video uploads promised in the Kickstarter, which is 131 remaining videos. It has been 143 weeks since the launch of the Kickstarter of the platform. So 131 videos divided by 143 weeks is 0.92 videos, averaging 0.92 videos uploaded per week. So we didn't hit our promise of a video every week perfectly, but I think 0.92 is pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with that.
I mean, that's a lot of stuff, and I'm sure there's a lot of value in there. The one sort of bit of pushback I have against that is that, like especially if you keep scrolling, what
do you want me to scroll to?
Just like see all these sort of announcement videos, and then you had obviously the stories from the pros, and that's how you guys got eyes on the project and the platform. I'm not saying you didn't necessarily like get the actual numbers, but for me the platform was learn from the best in the world. That was the whole selling point. That was the whole thing. And I don't feel like that's being delivered on at all. Now, it might be a great resource for beginners, but I don't think that's what was communicated, across. And that's the way that Adam felt. Obviously, he's already like a intermediate practitioner. And I understand that here in the document you sent me, which I appreciate that. It's a lot of work. You said that it was a sort of supposed to be like a beginner-focused platform. But I can't really find the evidence of that in the thing. It's just sort of Vital Flight Academy will be the world's best online training program based on our 11 years of on hands from everyone beginner to pros. And so that just feels like it's supposed to be for everyone, you know what I mean? And that's what I feel like it was marketed as. So for me, it just comes down to like the simple thing of like, if I wanted to learn basketball and sort of I saw the Kickstarter for this this thing, and they're gonna have Steph Curry teaching 3-pointers and LeBron teaching you all this stuff, and you get on there and it might be good stuff on there, but it's a bunch of people you don't know. I'd feel like they didn't deliver on the promise. So that's just where I'm coming at it from.
Yeah, and that's a lot harder to dispute because that's a little more opinion based.
Okay.
What I will point out, and this isn't to dispute your claim, it's just to maybe give a different perspective, is when you look at the Kickstarter, and I'll go kind of slow so people can read if they want, but the big chunk of it is detailing our beginner parkour stuff. So like most of the text in the Kickstarter is detailing all of our beginner parkour. There's just one paragraph here about master classes, and then a bunch of videos, but there's a lot more text at the top about the beginner parkour stuff. But I can certainly see from your perspective and like a higher level practitioner's perspective that they would kind of gloss over the beginner stuff and be really excited about the awesome athletes.
Yeah, so I think that probably happened. And it was also that people weren't spending a lot of time on the Kickstarter page per se, like you guys were obviously working on it. People were seeing all these Instagram stories and all the noise you guys made, which is amazing. You made so much noise, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
the thing I would push back on is classifying it as a scam. I think I would hope that we've shown definitively that it is not a scam.
I think legally, you're probably fine. Like, I don't know the law. I still would stand by the word purely because I know my friend who bought the platform feels like he got scammed. That's all it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, legally, I'm sure you've covered your bases. Like, I'm not at all like a lawyer guy. And then also like, you have other things up here like the Fight or Flight Academy Online is, you're going to create this great community. You're going to have your private group with all these athletes sharing their training and getting feedback. And then from what Adam told me, the only thing really shared in there was him asking you guys for an update, and there was nothing. So I know you guys said you're not very good at communicating, but obviously when you're trying to build marketing a product as a community, that's a problem. You know what I mean?
We've actually shifted that community to Discord.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not on Discord. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
enough.
Facebook group was active for quite a long time. And we were putting a lot of time into trying to seed more engagement in there and getting people to participate, which actually just proved to be one of the more difficult aspects of the project. Engagement was
legitimately.
incredibly low in that group, and we were making like daily ritual posts from our staff with like themes and other little nuggets and tidbits of information and wisdom. And it would get maybe a like, maybe seen by like 5 people. It just wasn't a great space for engagement, as unfortunate as that is.
Yeah, look, that's fair enough. I've tried to wrangle parkour people many a time for projects, and I know how kind of difficult they are. So, like, I can definitely see it going that way. Did anyone ask you guys for like refunds after the Kickstarter?
No.
Okay, so yeah, so you haven't given any refunds, or you haven't had that much like backlash from individuals on the
We
thing,
didn't
because-
know there was any backlash until your video.
Really? Wow. Okay, because I'd heard quite a bit, but obviously people had trouble reaching you.
Yeah, no one at least that we've seen has contacted us. I
Okay.
suppose it's possible we haven't seen it.
Fair enough. I mean, I think the thing that people were the most concerned about was the competition, but I don't feel like the competition was as big of it, like as bad of a thing, because you did deliver on it minus the US tax, right? As the Kickstarter. So yeah,
I don't see
my
how it was
assessment of
bad
it
in
is.
any way.
Sorry.
I don't see how it was bad in any way. Like,
The only way I see it as bad is like after talking to Krystian, he just feels like he was treated really badly throughout the process. But you're right. Aside from the taxable 30%, which is US law, whatever, you did deliver on it. That's fine. I don't really have a problem with that. Yeah, the thing I have a problem with is just the Kickstarter. But I didn't do the Kickstarter myself, so I'm just going off the opinion of like the couple of people who bought it, who I spoke to, and just wanted that interaction with the pros. And I feel like there's still scope for that to be done in the parkour space one day.
It would be awesome to do that. Because
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Luke's went really well, and I think he has getting his movement out there is really good.
Yeah, Adam did say that was a good course, so there's no complaints there. You know what I mean? And Luke said it was a good experience working with you guys. So, yeah, I mean, if the rest of them came together, it would have been fantastic. I don't know how much of it is sort of miscommunication or financial or whatever, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I don't want to drag it on too long. Are you guys happy with everything you covered there? Like, obviously we've reached some points of disagreement, but I feel like you've given your side of the story. Is that all right with you guys?
I'm personally happy on my end. I don't know if Holden wants to say more or not.
If you need, yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to get our side out.
Absolutely.
So
and look,
have-
I wanted to give you the
have both
space to do
sides.
that. You know what I mean? 100%. 100%.
so as far as like my own stuff, you know, facts facts have been acknowledged. And for me, ultimately, I just want to speak a little bit to like my experience like going through this.
Okay.
Which has been frankly really shite. Chad isn't on this call for a reason, and it's because he has been spending his pretty much entire adult life trying to cultivate and foster a healthy and wonderful community in the parkour world. And people have absolutely lambasted him for doing that for years. He has been dragged through the mud for doing literally nothing to so many people that he couldn't even be here today because he knows that it would be too emotional of an experience for him. And I personally am finally migrating from sympathy to empathy in that regard. It really sucked to hear that there have been rumors floating around about me specifically in the parkour community at events that I have attended, that there are people saying things behind my back. And furthermore, I think that my portrayal was both confusing and unfair in your video, given that you made the title of the section about me podcast with scammer. I am not a scammer. I'm not. I didn't lie about anything. at all. And I think that it's just really an unfair portrayal that is just sad. Like, I don't think that the communication that was put out there from you was really that authentic to journalism as far as journalistic integrity. Like, I didn't know that you were making this video, and your questions to me were very, very kind of surface level, and to turn around and drag me through the mud after doing that is just really shady. And yeah, I think that is just a key frustrating point for me, is just the portrayal of me. I would love to see some sort of addendum to the video, or response video posted, pretty much explaining that you got it very wrong. The first 5 seconds of your video make a lot of very bold claims that we scammed the parkour community out of tens of thousands of dollars twice, lied to pro athletes, etc. None of those things are true. That's literally all false. And I don't think that it's a fair portrayal of me and my character, to put things out there in that light, especially given the facts that have been put out here. And I think that even just like the plug of Jason Paul's online platform mixed with you interviewing his teammate Dom, the most famous parkour athlete in the world, is at best a conflict of interest. And I just don't think that it's like quality journalistic integrity in any way.
Yeah, fair enough, man. And look, I apologize for any like personal attack you might have received, because like my intention wasn't to attack individuals. It was to get to the core of this. And I opened that video with you scammed the parkour community out of tens of thousands of dollars twice. I don't believe that to be true. I believe it to be true once. And I think the competition was fair play at the end of the day. You know, Krystian feels like he was treated unfairly. But I do understand that it's upset you, it's upset Chad. So I apologize. I don't mean to upset individuals. I meant to get to the bottom of this issue and to entertain at the end of the day. So I apologize for that. And yeah, like, look,
Definitely an
thanks for
entertaining
saying
video,
your piece,
sure.
man. Appreciate it.
As much as I dislike the content of it, it was a well-made video for sure.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I appreciate your comment as well on the video. It was very like a professional response. You know what I mean? I was more than happy
Thanks,
to
I
open
made
up
it
the floor to
myself.
you guys. Yeah, I thought so.
I think we're about wrapped up, and I'm
Cool.
fairly happy with all of this. I would like to say one last thing. In the future, if you plan to do like some of the, like, you know, this hit piece kind of video, I suggest like contacting whoever the hit piece is about a little more upfront and being like, hey, I'm making a video on how you scammed the parkour community. Care to comment? You know,
Right, yeah.
more straightforward with
That's
your
fair. That's fair.
intentions.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because I'm making a video on Adam Dunlap at the moment, and the video is most of the video is like a 2-hour-long interview from him, essentially. I could have perhaps been more upfront with you, Holden. Essentially, I contacted you and you said you're no longer involved, and I took that as like, I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to talk about this. Fair enough. That my message to Chad was a fair bit more upfront, but he didn't respond. So yeah, I definitely could have. So yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that on the chin.
I think going forward, what I would like to potentially see is just perhaps like a pinned comment on the original video, explaining that we have provided receipts to push against some of these allegations, and acknowledging that. A follow-up video would be really great, and I think that an apology to Chad and I in that video would be well warranted. Those are kind of my wants to come out of this.
Yeah, so this, as kind of you guys requested, I'll sort of slap an intro and an outro on it, and then this will be a video, and I'll pin it to the original thing. Yeah. So yeah, I do apologize to you and Chad for any kind of personal grievances. You know, I didn't intend to sort of personally hurt anyone's feelings. You know what I mean? Although I do accept that, like, it was apparent that was probably going to be a byproduct of what I was doing. So sorry for that.
Yeah, that's just how YouTube works.
Yeah. All right, is that all good, boys?
I think I'm all set.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Can't have been an easy thing to do. Yeah, we did clear up some things, and yeah, we'll get it out there and throw it in the court of public opinion for the official
I'm sure we've
appeal.
already been judged, but I'm happy that the information will at least be out there.
So there you have it. Now you've heard both sides of the story. Let me know what you think. Did I go too far and they actually did nothing wrong? Or was it dishonest to promote a whole bunch of pro athletes as their masterclass coaches with promo videos and everything, and then not deliver on a single video with any of those pro athletes when it came to launching the platform? Anyway, big up yourself if you watched through that whole thing. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next. Until next time, cheers.
Mad as savage, me back and I'm back and it happening, ready to blow. I remember doing deeds with Deji from the street, they left me on my own. Mom kept asking me about how I got the P, I told her leave it, mum and grown. Then they're ringing off my phone, then they're ringing off my phone.